Alright, let's try this again. Hey, this is Brett. We're going to take a look at my game. So far I've been building in GB Studio, working title Geisterland, the land of ghosts, ghost country. That's probably going to change a little, but let's just start with some gameplay here, and then I'll kind of show you around GB Studio how I'm doing it. And this will just be kind of a general concept video going over it with you. So let me get that running. Reset our emulator here. So it starts, I've just got a basic intro title screen. I'm sure I'll brush up later. I don't have any save data yet. And as you can see, still using a few default UI elements from GB Studio if you're familiar at all. So we'll just start off here. It starts in your bedroom like any RPG. GB Studio obviously behooves itself to that style, so I wanted to lean into that. And those are some of my favorite games on Game Boy. So I wanted to make a game where you learn German, and instead of doing like a Pokedex, I wanted to be about collecting words. So your house is kind of the last place there's any English being spoken. Up here we've got our basic, working on filling out some of these. We'll get back to this later to show you how I'm working on some unlockable costumes. Always want to have options for your player. And so then we'll start going around and seeing what works. So, like I said, this is your last kind of English-speaking area. We're going to save the computer for a moment. This is your kind of drop-in. There'll be more introduction in the final version. Still kind of Nimmst das Brot is take the bread, yes or no. So grab that. Also the only room that asks you if you want to leave. Still trying to find the balance between how much language to use, how much to just drop the player in, etc. Here's our first ghost. Doesn't like us very much. Talk about that character a little bit more later. Coin. So this would be a good time to kind of show the pause menu. Essen is food. So we can see, got it set up so it adds our items in here. When we click on them, it gives us a count. Data. You have 3 XP and 1 Geld. Geld is money. This background screen is going to change. It's still held over. As you see here, I have a separate. I'll go to Geld. I had money and data on their two things. I was going to combine XP and health, but I think it's going to be better to give health its own meter and then combine XP with the money count. Werkzeuge is tools. Zurück is back for those unfamiliar. So let's go talk to this pig over here. Hallo, ich heiße Karl. Ich bin dein Nachbarn. So it means I am your neighbor. Hast du den Computer benutzt? So have you used the computer? So we'll hop back in here. And then this is one of the main features of the game. Like I said, this is kind of like this is where I have the whole dictionary that's being built. So the first time you use it, it gives you a nice English introduction, assuming that's your first language, and that you're here to learn some German. Dictionary is the only application right now. It's definitely a Windows XP throwback there. So this brings us to our different categories. All these are set up so that if you haven't had the correct encounter yet or unlocked that word, that character will be hidden. I'll show you that in a second here. So this is what the dictionary entries are set up to look like. Pretty basic layout right now. Das Schwein frisst einen Apfel, which means the pig eats an apple. Just goes over basically the word, sample sentence, and then Everything I've done so far have been nouns, so we don't use gender with our nouns in English, but that's an important factor in German, so that's in there. And then on the placeholder pages, I still give the basic translation. Just as you can see, there's no icon yet there, so there's nowhere to go. But since we've watched the TV, you can go in here. My TV is actually broken right now, so this is semi-autobiographical work. We'll come back to the dictionary more in a minute here. So now we've used the computer, our neighbor Carl has moved along here. Lessons Raiden, which is let's talk. But first I need coffee. I know where the secrets are because I built it. So let's check here on the menu again. So got this guy over here blocking the way. Can you help me? Sure. Wonderful. We need 2 apples, please. I'm hungry. Do you have bread? That's where our first item comes in. So we know we need coffee. So we'll buy that. And we know we're going to need an apple. So we'll buy that. And, can't get up here, right? But if you take this coin, you can. I built it, so I know where the secrets are. Take the apple. Yeah. So now, we can go back into our menu here. See the bread's gone. Shows us we have 2 apples, 1 coffee. Free money. The money display I need to fix. All the frames on my sprites are off right now, so that's one of my projects going into this week. 2 apples, please. For us? Yes, of course. Alright, so they're both stoked. They got their apples. This path is now clear. You can see we've got the same characters over here hanging out. I haven't built anything into this yet. We've got our first body of water, but it's about as far as this goes right now. One of the things I wanted to focus on with this was definitely like density, and so I've been trying to kind of build in areas a little bit for every step I take building them out in the overworld map, if that makes sense. So I've got a few rooms I need to finish. He's just asking me for coffee. Give Carl coffee. Thank you. He's out of our way now. After you. Grab another coin. Let's check our stats again. So now 16 XP and 10 money. So you can see our 2 bills displayed there. That's displaying correctly. I still need to fix the rest of this whole money meter I have going. We'll go ahead and after you. So got another cutscene set up here. The first time you enter Carl's house, it's what? I live in a castle. Just thought it'd be funny to put the pig in a castle. I don't know. I gotta fix this coffee so it stands out. Give that a border. That's another thing to do this week. I haven't gone shopping yet, so there's not a lot added to the dictionary. Most of these entries are by like the first time you acquire said object. It'll unlock that. Right now, most of the entries I have are food. So let's go upstairs. Yes, Carl's got another TV, which just gives us the same scene now. up to the 3rd floor. And like I said, I've been kind of, the pace of development on this has been a lot of, so that I'm going to change so it's not in English by the end, since you're out of your main house. And then we've got, so we're doing some, like, I'm trying to build in some exclusives here. Like you can only change into the pig outfit at Carl's house, as I've got it set up right now. Go back downstairs here. If you notice the egg costume in there, that, oof, the ghost disappeared. Fuck, I gotta fix the ghost. Okay, so that's a little bit of just, yeah, looking at the game. Let's take a few minutes and kind of look at how it's set up, and then we'll wrap this one up for our initial kind of episode here. So, this is our starting point, as you can see. It's our little opening card. Moving over to our title screen here. And your home where you start. So the different kind of implements we've got set up are these are your cutscenes. I've got highlighted in green for your interactions with the TVs. Just kind of got the one right now. The other one's set for that first entrance into Carl's house. The clothing selection, very basic right now. But you can see a few of these, if we go in, have certain variables where unless that's added to your dictionary, or like in the case of the egg suit, you need to have at least one egg in your inventory or it'll hide that actor. And then just duplicating that room for the other dresser at Carl's, so I can just kind of plant those throughout the world. And then this is how the dictionary is set up with the PC. Just kind of, like I said, only the one application right now, so it takes you just right to this dictionary page. Everything on this contents page takes you to a sub-contents page by that category. And then these are all set up. Food's probably the best example since it's the most filled out right now, where until you've collected that item, it'll hide the icon accordingly. And then once that's unlocked, you can go click on that, and that's how you get routed to these various pages. The pause menu, as we talked about, I need to do some fixing up on. But everything essentially works here with the food menu, where it's very similar. If your count's at 0, it'll block that item out. Then it'll give you the count accordingly. These health bars are figured out for XP, but I need to fix this background, like I said, and figure out the money count. And we're going to have a health system in here, but that's going to replace this old money system. And then from there, it's really just like the interior rooms built out. Like I said, I wanted to focus on like density, so this supermarket kind of maxes out a lot of the limits with actors and things, so I want to kind of go for that. So like a lot of these dead buildings that haven't been finished yet, I'm waiting to kind of really, I want to have 4 or 5 shops in here and really fill it out. This area, I want to make sure there's something that connects over here, you know, a way to, you know, we'll add in a way to traverse water, but for now, of course, classic video game rules, water you die. And then likewise, everything kind of has an open end here, but it's that classic Game Boy trick of kind of restricting the paths with bigger objects and adding a little visual interest. So that's a basic layout. I'm going to try and do one of these like once a week, and from here on out, hopefully just be going over what I worked on in the past week. So I got to fix that ghost and a couple other things, and I will see you next time.